always, your best is never good enough. Whoa, oh, oh.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Dissect. Of course, I go by the name of Novelist and I got the crew with me. But tonight we have a special brand new host joining us and she goes by the name of Jewel. So let's welcome Jewel to the first episode, well, her first time on Dissect. What's up?
Hey, hello, hello. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You look happy. You ready?
I'm ready.
Nice. And of course, we have the man, DJ Kaza. Everybody know my it's Imon Daru in the building. What up?
How is everybody out there this evening? Especially if you're in Canada, I know it's really warm and nice up here.
Nice. And of course, we have Nika. She's still with us in the back. What's up, Nika? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
And we're waiting for our guest tonight. Our guest tonight, of course, is Tasha P. And she'll be joining us shortly, hopefully. And we could get the show rolling, man. So, Jules, maybe we could, find out a little bit about you quickly.
Hey, am I the one being interviewed tonight?
Of course, well, we gotta kill some time, right?
The pre-screen before the screen.
What do you want to know about me?
Well, I guess the people would like to know about you. Who's that girl? Where she's from? Who's that Jules? So I guess let's start with where you from?
Do you have
Well, I'm a
interviewing
Torontonian.
experience?
What's that?
Do you have interviewing experience?
Oh my gosh. I do. I'm a Torontonian first and foremost. My background is Trini. My parents, my mom's from Grenada, grew up in Trinidad. Dad's from Trinidad. But yes, Kaza, yes, I do have interviewing experience. I do a little podcast and I do like Instagram live. So I have some experience. But I'm here to learn from the two of you tonight.
To learn from Kaza.
Yeah.
To learn from Kaza. Yeah, you got your plug in the thing. Plug in the
Like my
thing.
thing, I do a lot of things. I wear many hats. Wear my hats.
I know you wear many hats. You have the sip and chat.
Sip and chat with Jewel. It's now called Sip Events. So I do events and I do sip and chats with ladies. We talk about different things that, we don't want men to know about sometimes. But also I have my own hair and skincare line called Genoa Naturals. But yeah, I do a few things.
Genoa. What does that mean?
Genoa means I'm black.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
What's the Instagram page so everybody knows out there? How to
Genoa.
Yeah.
It's a JENOIR_ is NOIR. Genoa.
Okay. Nice.
Genoa, yes, is natural. Sorry. Oh no, what did I say? It's Genoa _ is natural. Because you messing me up.
Sorry.
Because
Sorry.
I'm listening to
Genoa, JENOIR_ is _natural.
All right.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So while we wait for Tasha, she showed up earlier, but I guess she's, trying to move from one device to the next. And, so, the people waiting, just like, be a little bit more patience. And I guess we'll be talking to her very shortly. The people in the back is trying to make sure that happens too as well. I know you guys are looking forward to that. Hope everybody had like a nice holiday. Of course, last week we took the time off, so some people could do their you know holiday thing, the New Year's and all that good stuff. So you know, I believe Tasha is in the building now, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and introduce Miss Tasha P.
Good night, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy
Y-
2020.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I am
Y-
great. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is good.
Thank
We're chilling.
you.
You're looking great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
Look at that smile.
So, of course, Tasha, you didn't get to meet our host, Jules. Jules, this is Tasha P. Tasha P. Jules.
Hi,
Hi,
Tasha.
Jules. You're very pretty,
Oh,
Jules.
thank you. As are you.
Thank you.
I feel it's gonna be a long night.
Well, you know what I'm excited about? There's two women on here and there's two men. So you know what? I have a lot of things that I'm stirring up tonight.
Even playing ground. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I feel abandoned because there's only one man on the screen.
Oh.
But Tasha, what's going on, girl? How you been?
Been good. Been hustling like usual. I mean, it's not as frequent and as consistent as before COVID, the
Right,
pandemic, but doing my best to deal with it as it comes and whatever happens in the meantime.
right, most definitely.
How about you
Yeah,
guys? Everything okay? The show has been doing well.
the show has been doing pretty good.
Are you a fan? Do you
Of course,
watch?
anything Novelist does, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Oh,
trust.
oh,
And
okay,
anything she
Ah.
does, I'm a fan. So the
okay.
love is mutual. The last time I saw you, well, previous to before COVID, out here in the Toronto area. How has that been like with dealing with this whole pandemic situation?
The last time I was in Canada was
The,
3 years ago,
yeah, the year before COVID. Pretty cool.
2019. That was the last tour with Swinging Stars. That was the last, yeah, the last with the group since, wow.
Yeah.
So we need you
Yes.
back in Toronto ASAP.
Well, I love Toronto, actually. I look forward to coming there every time the band travels. I know that's our first stop. So,
Yeah.
excitement galore. I love Canada.
Hopefully we could get that again in the future. It might be a little bit different, but hopefully we could get it back. And I mean,
Of course, of course. I'm looking forward to that, of course.
of course. So, of course, I gotta officially welcome you to Dissect. Um, I know who you are. You know who I am. But for the record of Dissect, let's go all the way back.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way back.
Okay.
Um, let's start with what inspired music in your
Um,
life.
well, growing up in a household where music was always around everybody, especially my father singing and so on, but just the music that my mom would listen to, or just being on the bus and my dad playing those old school songs, old school CDs or cassettes back in the day, just listening to people, music, all types of genres, just loving to sing, especially going to church and ministering in singing. Oh my God, music has always been in my blood from the very first day I opened my eyes on this planet. And my mother is the one who revealed that truth to me. It's
Mhm.
been a good portion of my beginning of time when I just came into the world. My
Mhm.
mom said the doctor was hitting my bottom. How they hit those babies so they can cry, get all that
Right.
stuff out of the lungs. She said I
Right.
didn't cry, I sang. I was like,
Wow.
really?
Wow.
And she always thought to herself that I was destined for something musical. I
Right.
would be growing up and doing my own little shows at home for my parents. Disney Channel was the channel. So all the groups I would come on to, they had concerts every Friday or almost like every month.
Mhm.
Every month and they would have a concert on Disney Channel. So I would learn the songs and see me writing my lyrics with writing what I think I'm hearing. Not exactly what it is, because sometimes you don't know. You think you
Right.
hear one thing, and
It's
so
something
writing the
else.
lyrics and teaching my sisters um, the lyrics and giving them different parts, and we'd have a whole concert for my father. or the neighbors or whoever. We dress alike just to we learn dance moves. I feel I've been blessed and destined for music. It's not something that just came to me one day, something that I was born with, something I grew up knowing that I wanted to pursue more than anything in the entire world.
Right. And I see now that, you've been doing it before, but now more that I would say straying away from the calypso, but you add into the how can I say it? You add into your repertoire.
Oh, most definitely. Something that I always wanted to do. I mean, if I have to say, we're going way, way, way back to when growing up, Calypso was not the first genre in my space. It was not I want to sing Calypso kind of a genre.
Right.
I was never excited about it. And I mean, I'm being brutally honest because that's
Mhm.
what I believe in. I believe in honesty. It
Yes.
keeps me out of trouble. And even if I do get in trouble, at least the truth was told.
Facts.
So growing up, it was never calypso for me. It wasn't calypso until my younger sister started singing. And I used to do backups for her because I love harmonies. I
Mhm.
love putting those little parts and on stage with her doing it and so on. But never did I think that I would have sung calypso. And then when I was 11 years old in primary school, my um, my grade 7 teacher at the time, Mrs. Morrow, who's now the principal of the St. Martin Primary School,
Mhm.
along with Mrs. Christian and one other teacher, Mrs. Reed. Oh, Miss Reed. Who? Everybody have to know about Miss Reed. Because when I would be singing in assembly, little girl singing, making noise, she would say, let the child sing tan. Because that. But who can chanting, Papa? God, trust me. Um, so it was always yeah, when I was 11 they asked me to take part in the junior Calypso Monarch show, and I was like, Miss Calypso, I don't do sing that.
Right.
And she said, no, you never know, you can try it and maybe you might like it.
Right.
So I decided, okay, yes, miss, no problem. I have to admit at that time the support was null to almost void
Mm.
on the people, the side where you expect to get the support sometimes. I didn't get it then, but
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
teachers were, let me tell you, they knew what I did not know. So they
Right.
decided to ask me to take part. They got me a song from Ian Jackson called Together as One, a song I, up till today, know every single word. I cannot forget that song. I don't know why. I sang it. I was nervous. I have a video of recording of that. I cannot wait to repost it on my social media platforms. But
Right.
oh, I don't know if you say embarrassing because it's not really embarrassing because I'm 11 years old. What do you know much about the stage and
Yeah.
it's your first time and you have all those butterflies in your stomach and so on. Man, it was an experience of a lifetime. I didn't want to sing and my teachers were, let's go, you could do this. And then my younger sister, who was only 5 at the time, she took part. Oh, that
Right.
made me more nervous because she was brave. She was a brave heart from day one, confidence, spurring. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? And she doing that so easily. And eventually my turn came at number 15. I mean, the whole night passed and I seen everybody performing and that made me even more nervous.
Right.
I went on and I took part. I forgot the first 2 words of my first verse because guess what? There
Oh.
was this cute boy in the crowd that I had a crush on. Oh.
Hmm.
So when he came to the front of it, I was like, okay, oh my God, he's here. And forgot the first 2, 3 words of my verse, but I jumped right into it. And if you see that video, oh my God, you would be very surprised. Very. So that's kind of where the Calypso vibe started for me at 11. But that was
Mhm.
the only time I ever took part in the Junior Calypso Monarch. But
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Nice.
love
So
you too, Alroy Breedy.
we need to see that. We need to see that video. You need to
Oh my God.
it,
Yeah.
look
Soon,
at it.
coming soon. I will make sure I post it on my media platforms and share it so you guys can have a look at 11-year-old Tasha. And at the time I was singing Tasha or singing Tasha. Me, I know. I didn't know what what name to give myself then, so I think it was singing Tasha.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that video to come up too because I went and I binge watched all of your videos. I was like stalking you.
Are you
but
serious?
I'm
She's doing the
excited.
homework.
Yeah, I did my homework. I definitely did my
Oh,
homework.
Dope.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so all that you did not want to sing calypso, and
Mm-mm.
you are now the calypso queen of Dominica, the only calypso queen of Dominica, right? Like in
Only
history,
Calypso female monarch.
female
Monarch.
monarch, right?
There are other queens because usually sometimes we have the female show where only females perform, just
Right.
like in a Stardom tent or so on, and then a winner emerges for the females. But then with the big in the big leagues, there's the monarch competition where a female has never won before, and then
Oh, okay.
I got that only
In
title.
54 years.
Yes, I you did do your homework.
54 years. My homework. I told you.
Yes, yes, she's right. Yes,
You see,
54 years.
I feel ashamed, and I didn't even know that.
Ah,
Yeah.
But
yes.
okay,
Oh, I see another gentleman has joined you, so you don't feel left out again, do you?
yeah, he shows up once in a while when he feels like it. Jacques Phil.
Oh, can feel massive.
One love, one love. A lot of
One love,
technical
one love.
workings and hopping in and
I know
out,
the
but
vibes.
keeping the vibes going and afloat for sure. Enjoying the conversation for sure. Your
That's
story, coming from
nice.
church, yeah, it's very interesting.
I have a
Remind me,
question.
remind me of my acolyte days for sure.
Came from a wedding, then church, then here, and then I have studio after.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, go ahead, Joe.
Busy, busy. Well, you mentioned that you're the first Calypso female monarch. What is
Yes.
that? I mean, that must be a heavy load for you as a female to be almost like a role model or a voice for the Caribbean on a whole. How does that feel? Like, what does it do for you? Like, how is it feeling for you to hold that title and know that so many young women look up to you, young and old women, any age, they look up to you because you have this title now?
Well, to be honest with you, it's a ball of mixed feelings in regards to that. When it first happened, it was a very bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Even for the role, playing the role and then having other people look up to you was having people look down on you. It was
Mm-hmm.
something new. And I know a lot of times if the world does not know something, they're afraid of it because it's unknown.
Right.
So they kind of have to get to know what it's like. Being the first is hard and it's good and it's bad. Being
Mm-hmm.
the first means you set a certain trend, you set a pace, you start off the ball rolling and other people can either do better or they'll like work really hard to get there. But in terms of being a role model and carrying the title, it is both a heavy load and a blessing. I say it's a heavy load because again, being the first means um, you have no standard to meet. You have no pattern to follow. You have no template as to how to be the female monarch of Dominica. You have no guidelines to prove that this is how it was done before, and this is how you could do it now that you are in the position. There's no chain of command. There's no, I think I hope you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But at the same time, on the contrary, um, you're the first. So you set the pace, you make the rules, you set the guidelines,
Hmm.
you start it off and everybody else can take it off from there.
The trendsetter.
Right, right. So it's like a Pisces. No, not a Pisces, sorry, a Libra.
A Libra, the
It's the
scale.
way in the scale.
Skills.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. It has, I think it's 50-50. Both ways it goes, it's good and it can be bad if you're not strong,
Right.
if you're
Yes.
not if you don't have the proper support system. And I will always be an advocate for support because it goes a long way.
Yes.
If you get into any position, sometimes it's just that you're maybe the first manager of a business or first time being a principal of a primary school or high school, first time being in any position, the PM, the president, first time, everything is going to come to you overwhelmingly. It's going to come like a big rush in the very beginning. It's a high,
Mm.
a serious, serious high. And
Mm.
at that time, it was a serious calypso high for me.
Right.
Mm.
I didn't expect it. I did not see it coming. And then when I received it, I now had to put myself in order, straighten up my jacket collar, and
And
ensure that whatever it is I was putting out there, that it was something that positive and have a good influence over the people who saw me as a role model, or as you said, look up to me,
Yeah.
Dominica, Caribbean wide, or nationally, sorry, regionally, anywhere. So I just had to band my waist and let's go. That's basically how it was in the very beginning.
so, so definitely made you a stronger
Mhm.
person at the end of the day.
I believe so, indeed. Trust me, some of the things that I had to go through, some of the statements that were made, some of the articles that were written in the newspaper about me,
Hmm.
I had to have, and I say, you can be strong, but if you don't have support or you don't have people there to catch you if you're about to fall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, you leave those people position for them, please.
And Dominica,
Yeah.
Dominica is not an easy load.
And Dominicans, straight up, they tell you like it is. Imagine
Yep.
being on stage singing, you in
Yep.
finals, and let me tell you, pumped you on stage, you're ready to perform your best, and you're seeing somebody under the stage in front of you doing that.
Eh.
Hmm.
Wow.
It's really crazy. Dominicans they don't have any, they don't put water in their wine. They have,
Plain talk
there
bad
we
manners.
go. They straight
Raw.
up. If it
Yep.
good, they'll tell you it good. If it
Yep.
bad,
Yep.
they'll tell
Yep.
you it bad.
Yep.
That's how
Wow.
Dominicans. But I love them for it though, because at least you
Of
get the
course.
honesty. You get the
Yeah.
honesty out of it.
You
The
know.
criticism may be harsh, but it's thorough, and it also
Right.
helps with withering out all the old weeds. So you take off all the bad and you make what you have
Hmm.
very, very good if you listen. You just have to listen.
Right.
So, how many years were you in Calypso before you actually won the Monarch?
One.
1 year.
So I started in 2010
Mm-hmm.
and
And
I won in
2011.
2011.
That's crazy.
So it was
I
my
was.
second year.
That is crazy.
Where do you see
And
yourself in the business in the next 5 years from now?
In Calypso,
Hmm.
that no one has ever asked me that question
And
before.
and maybe not just even in Calypso. Like, do you see yourself expanding outside the bound of,
Of
say,
course, in
singer
this
Zouk?
day and age, you can't afford to stay in the same place. Change is a must. Growth is a must. Development is necessary. And taking risks, I can almost say is necessary as well. Because as I said in the beginning, I didn't want to sing Calypso. When it was brought to my attention, they told me, Tasha, but you should sing Calypso. I said, what have I done? Calypso? No, 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 no. I don't know the story for the Calypso thing. I know that is for old people.
yeah.
And I was 21 years old. So in my head, now man, I don't know what I can do in that. I
Yeah.
straight up. But then thank God for the Swinging Stars band, because I had already joined the band that same year, 2009, I joined the band. So
Okay.
they were the ones who kind of
Pushed it more.
targeted me. No, I wouldn't say target, but they kind of just asked me to try it out. And I said,
Right.
try it. So they say, okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. Try it once. Try it once. I say, boy, okay, why not? I had the support of the band. I had the support of my family. My mother
Mhm.
ensured that I joined that band because, again, everything that's new and big was frightening for me. So it was hard for me to just make the decision to do it. I needed that support,
Right.
that
Yeah.
good positive networking in my background, and my family, my mom, my siblings, my very close friends, the Swinging Stars band and the Six Form Sister Singers, of which I was a part of for 13 years. They all helped me to build the confidence to try it. And I sang in 2010,
Right.
Little Girl, what is they say is Little Girl in Big Man Thing.
Mm.
And it was crazy. Like when every time I look back at myself performing that first year, I'm like, what were you doing? What was that? But
It-
then every year you just watch yourself, you watch your growth. And then the
yeah.
second year, I think that was maybe the second toughest year. At the time, it was the toughest year of my life. 2011 was rough, rough,
Yeah.
rough, rough, rough. All them fellas watching you cut eye, people in the
Yeah.
competition all feisty, and I don't know, but boy, it was crazy. The negativity was intense, intense. And I
Oh,
thought, you know what? I'm going to do this just because I love what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And whatever happens, I'm good. I know I wasn't going to win. That's to me. And
Right.
then I just say, you know what? You're not going to win. You're a female already. And that's the first one. Plus, you're
Right.
young. It's not leave that alone. You just start singing, leave it alone. I went and I sang, and 3 days before the competition, I actually lost my voice.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
everybody was kind of like, all my fans at the time, they were like on the edge of their seats.
Mm.
It's like, oh
Mm.
my God, last interview, she won the Calypso female, the Calypso queen at Stardom. But when she came to do the radio interview, there was nothing,
Yeah.
Mm.
no voice.
Wow.
Wow.
So bless her soul, Samantha Dr. Later, who was my chaperone at the time and
Mhm.
still always is, no matter what I do, she's always in the back, just, helping me. She gave me a writing pad and a pen, and she told me no more talking till Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
See
if
that.
anybody speaks to you, write it, you turn moo. You already kind of talk, leave that alone. So that's what I did for 3 days.
Right.
Thursday, Friday into Saturday, no talking. When I had to rehearse, I just had to pretend
Mm.
like lip sync.
Lip sync. Okay.
And on the night, Sammy and I and my mom and my family, we prayed backstage and we said, no matter what happens, we're going to do our best out there.
Hmm.
Everybody's scared because Tasha has no voice. And
Mm-hmm.
then I walked onto the stage and I just opened my mouth and voice came out.
Wow.
So I think that's one of the reasons I was very emotional for the first song, which was
All right.
Children. But in addition to that, the whole overwhelming feeling, the negative was coming in really heavy. But competition is a tough thing,
Most definitely.
if you don't have support, as I said.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the grooming process. That was the grooming process to bring you to where you're at right now and where you
Yes,
need to
girl.
be. So that's amazing.
So how has the experience with swinging stars been though? Like, you know,
Whew. Swinging Star saved my life. I put it that way.
okay,
I
what
said
do you mean
save
by
my
that?
life.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
What do you mean?
at the time when I was asked to join the band, I
Hmm.
was in a little band called Esclave,
Okay, yeah, I remember Esclave. Yes.
right? So that's Pusky and Median, Falcon, sorry,
Yeah.
Coco Killer.
Yeah.
And I was young. Let's just put it that way. I was
Mm.
young. So me now getting the opportunity to sing with Swinging Stars opened my eyes to a whole new world. And it was crazy because it wasn't just about singing anymore. I
Right.
mean, it was singing, but it was growth. It was a love, a family, a set of people, a group of people who came together to play music because they loved it, not because they tried. I mean, obviously, everything is money. You play somewhere, you get paid,
Right.
but it wasn't all about the money, and it wasn't all about the glitz and glams. It helped to the band, the camaraderie band also helped to shape my perspective because you're young, you're female, things happen, and you maybe react the wrong way, or maybe your humility is not on par.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, that band helped to shape me. I mean, I joined the band at 20.
Right.
I was 20 when I joined the band. Yes, February 22nd. That means my anniversary is coming up soon. So I was young, I was immature, a little naive to a lot of things.
Right.
And I just figured I can sing, but it wasn't all about singing. It was about performance, discipline, humility, um, consideration for the fact that it wasn't just you. So teamwork, learning to work with mature people because they could all be like my parents and grandparents.
Mm.
So at the
Right.
time I was a baby in the band, and as the only female, they took really good care of me. Um, they didn't spoil me or sorry, they didn't spoil me and they didn't feed me like with a gold spoon. They were rough when they had to be rough, tough when they had to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, currently one of the band members who say, but Tasha, when you joined the band, you couldn't even sing.
Right.
So I think what they're trying to say is I could maybe sing and hold my notes and do all my vari,
Right.
but in terms of the voice growing and learning
Mm-hmm.
to be a performer, being an artist, that took some time. It took some nurturing.
Right.
And it took me from that young girl who sang nicely to this young woman who knows how to manage herself on stage,
Right.
dress well, sing well, know how to entertain, know how to be on stage and off stage, know how to speak to people. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
whole combination of a lot of things. So it was like a life-shaping moment for me in the music industry. So it wasn't just joining the band. It was I gained big brothers and uncles, and uncle being Uncle Phil.
Right.
Everybody was uncle except those that were somewhat my age.
Mm.
So they would kind of say, so why not calling me Uncle Chester or Uncle Peter? I say, mm-mm. And being the only female, as I said, yes, they were rough and tough when they had to be, but they protected me. They
Right.
taught me a lot about the music, industry. They taught me how to deal with certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as a female, you finish performing on stage and all those guys maybe half drunk or they just want to come and talk to you or touch you up and whatever. In the beginning, you should have seen this feisty little make person. Me, when they coming by you, they want to slap this and touch this. And
Mm.
one day I almost knocked one to the ground for good. He was
Wow.
just passing and he smacked my booty, my butt,
Wow.
and I got pissed. So my hand was already ready to finish him. And I just felt myself move.
Yeah.
The band members, they saw what happened, but again wanted to protect me because if I had hit the man and the man is a lot bigger than me, he maybe would have bust my tail.
Right.
So they had to, that was the first time that happened. So they kind of just pulled me aside and told me how to manage myself when things like that come up, or how
Mm.
to prevent myself from getting into situations like that. So a whole family of big brothers and daddies and grandfathers just cuddling me, but in the most strict way. So it
Right.
wasn't that I could do what I want or I figure I can. No, everything was a learning process. If you did something that the band members thought they didn't think it was good or
Mm-hmm.
a good look for you, they would tell you. If I would dress a certain way and they say, Tasha, not that outfit or something, they really help to curb the personality on stage that you see today.
Right.
They have been playing a major, major role in my life, and it's been 12 years and will be 13 in a month.
So is that where a lot of the inspiration comes from, where you're in your lyrics and your writing? Because I listened intently to every word that you said in your songs. Is that where a lot of the inspiration comes from? They're just
I would
being...
say some of it.
Mhm.
Definitely, definitely. If you've never experienced something, you don't know how to talk about it or how to
Yeah.
feel about it. So joining the band was another aspect of my life that
Mm-hmm.
shaped me and really gave me, like, it just gave me insight
Mm-hmm.
to life on a different tangent. So the 616 singers, definitely, because it helped me to be a choral singer, to know my volume, my balance. Just, I wouldn't say train. It's not coaching. It's not vocal coaching, but again, the discipline, the vocal runs and the riffs, and how to sing soft and how to sing loudly and how to. Auntie Pearl, may her soul continuously be blessed for taking up that mantle and shaping us young female artists and male artists in Dominica. But all of that helped to shape me. So this is from Sister Singers did their way. The Swing and Stars Band still today is doing the same, helping to shape me
Right.
and curb me, especially when it comes to my lyrics. I almost can say that I didn't really like writing before.
Mm.
Um, sometimes, I get writer's block a lot. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not inspired. But
Right.
whenever I do feel inspired, the first place I want to come is the studio, which I am in right now. So I come to the studio. It's like my home away from home. It's my comfort place.
Nice.
This place to be. Even if I'm pissed off, or even if I am at my lowest, if I come here, it's like as soon as I open the door, it's like Alice in Wonderland. It just changes. It transforms me and my mind and puts me at peace. And this is the place I love being the most.
It's the best place to be when you're pissed off, actually. You release, all that old energy into like a song or, production or
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Excellent. You are right.
Yeah.
And music, I always like to take from different angles. So if I do intend to write something, the band members for sure, Peter, Chester, we come to the studio, we fix it up, we edit it, and then
Right.
we have a production. So it's never really, the band is a family. It's never
Right.
really, I did this or you did that. It's
Mm-hmm.
we did this together as a team. And Peter has been the producer and arranger for years, and he's been doing such a great job.
That, oh, Peter.
You make me laugh.
how is it working with Peter? Forget like not forget about the
Pardon?
band, but let's exclude the band for a minute. How is it working with Peter? Because I know Mr.
Okay.
Peter, and I don't think I would be able to work with Peter, not in a negative way. I don't think we'll be able to get any work done
Why you laugh too
because
much?
Peter would probably have me laughing from the minute we sit down and just waste hours. I try
Well,
to do an
pizza is a
interview with
darling.
Peter and
We
I couldn't ask Peter questions. We were just laughing on the radio. So how is it?
I
How
remember
is
that
it?
interview.
You remember that interview? All I could do is laugh around Peter. So how
I
is
think
it
he
working
knows
with
how
him?
to separate business from pleasure.
Right.
He also knows how to calm you because a lot of people come to the studio, including myself, and maybe they're nervous about their lyrics, or maybe they're not too confident about what they're singing, and or maybe they would come with, some people go through things. We go through things, and then we come with that whole mindset of what we're going through. We at a low place. We be
Right.
in like we have so much on our plate. We have to be overthinking. We stressed out. Now, if you come to this studio, Peter, I don't know how he does it. I think he's natural at it. It's a natural thing for him
Mhm.
where he would just maybe change the topic and get you to talk about something else. And before you know it, your teeth outside.
Wow.
So he helps to calm you in that regard. So you are right that he will have you laughing,
Yep.
but laughing for a good cause, because then
Yeah.
when you're ready to record, you on par, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Nice.
Very
definitely.
easy to work with. That's maybe the easiest producer I've ever worked in my entire life. And I've worked with a few in Trinidad, a few from Barbados, and other places. And this is the calmest. And not because that's like my big brother from another mother, but to be honest, you come here and you are the best. As soon as you step inside, you are the best. Nobody's
And
better than you. And it's a concept I think he and the band kind of put in my mind. Whenever you reach on stage, stop thinking about everybody else. Think
true.
about what you want to put out there, what kind of performance you want to give, and
Right.
that's your best. So once you step in the studio, novelist, Peter
Mm-hmm.
will make you feel like you're the best. He will tell you what you need to hear, what you need
Nice.
to know. And when you come in front of that mic, you do exactly that. And as I'm talking about you, so he steps into the
Be
studio.
Oh
fortunate.
wow, really? Can we get him to come in for 2 minutes
And
and say
Trini,
hi to
you
the
They
create
to
you
would
the
to
like,
talk
You
your
want,
line.
you want to bring Peter,
you
you
would,
want to bring Peter on the screen. That's his trouble.
so quick?
the group novelist, they want to see your face just
Mr.
for 2 minutes
Lita.
or maybe a minute. Mr. Later, look, you just
Yes, I.
Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I good man, I good.
Bring up
I
yourself.
just running out there. I can't stay to talk now.
All right, yeah, yeah, do your thing, do your thing.
Yeah man.
We have to trouble you for a
Alright.
few seconds.
Mm,
All right. So you mentioned working with producers in like Trinidad.
yes.
How
Very few opportunities came by whilst I was studying in Trinidad, because I studied in Trinidad for 4 years.
right.
And my writer, Gina Later, that's Peter's sister,
Mm-hmm.
she's the one who wrote Children, Justice, but there's so many songs I've sung. I have to try to remember all those songs now. But yeah, so Gina at the time lived in Trinidad as well. So she had a few songs that she had written, and she wanted
Mm-hmm.
me to record them before I went back to Dominica. So I have some demos, and also for her own personal writing. So I did demos for some other songs for other artists that she wrote for.
Right.
She wrote for. So in that regard, or as a result, I ended up having to go to maybe 2 or 3 studios over there. I only remember one person's name.
Right.
The other two, it wasn't a very long back and forth in the studio. But I remember Zizi from Trinidad. He recorded 1 or 2 of the songs that the band has recently or currently.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to work with Zizi. I got a chance to work with 2 others, and I think they're prominent arrangers and producers because they've worked with other soca artists like Marshall Montano and Patrice and
Mm-hmm.
all of them. So a little opportunity came where I was able to work with them in that regard.
Okay. So Jules, on if you want to go ahead.
Why? Because I have Trini
No,
background.
no,
And,
no, no.
yeah.
I
love
just figure you
Trinidad.
want to jump in the
That's my
question.
second mother home country. I love Trinidad. My best friend is Trinidadian.
Nice. See, I wanted to know how you were able to come about doing that song with Marshall that night. And apparently you wrote a little bit of the lyrics.
Just
for
the
that
part I
song.
sang.
Okay. How did that come about?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I went to UE. I met this guy. Well, I had a friend who knew this guy who was a producer from St. Vincent doing his master's, and he wanted somebody to come and do the demo or the female demo for Destra's part in the song. Come back to me. And at the time, when I came to the studio, I thought he already had written everything, and he just wanted me to use. He just wanted to use my voice. But when I came, he didn't have anything for Destras yet. He just had the male lyrics.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And I just sat there. I took a piece of paper and a pen, and I started feeling out what the lyrics meant and what he wanted it to mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started writing. And I wrote it. It didn't take us half an hour. No? I wrote it. He didn't like a word. He changed it. And then he said, okay, let's do the demo. So I did the demo. But just before, I have to call my confidant in Dominica and say, this is what's happening. What should I do? So I called them and they said, you know what? Do the demo like it's your song. You have to do it well. So even if it's just a demo for somebody else, that voice, they will hear. I did the demo. I did the backup, everything. And before I knew it, I left Trinidad in December for holidays, Christmas holidays. And by the beginning of January, the song was out. But in the credits, my name wasn't there. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. That's cool. Because remember, I'm not home. I'm in Trinidad. That's not really, my space. And I don't want to cause any drama.
Well,
So I
this
just
is
left it alone.
dissect, so we
I
can't get
just,
into the
That
drama
shouldn't have
now if you want.
happened. No. You should have gotten your accolades.
I didn't. But, young. And again, as I said, I'm not a person who likes conflict. I
Yeah.
prefer not have to deal with the drama people, and I already paced myself to create a very good reputation for myself. So putting yourself in that, then they'll take you to court, then I don't have that money. I was a student at UE and I just wanted to be a student. So I just let it go. I was like, hey, okay, well, if you don't want me or don't want to give me, that's fine. And that was in 2000 and
17.
no, that's the performance, but the song was
I'm trying to do my, homework done here.
The song was written. The song was written in 2014, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2014 or something like that. And I let it go. So I moved on. I lived my life, but I love that song. I love this song for what it was, and I would always listen to it. So when Hurricane Maria happened, Dominica lost everything. Everybody was in shambles.
Yeah.
Sad to say, my best friend from Trinidad, Janine Simon, her brother passed away. And I couldn't be in Dominica. At the time in Dominica, there was nothing to do. There's no light, no water, no nothing. You just have to wait. So I found myself in Trinidad to support my best friend because I needed to be there for her.
Hey.
And I got a lot of support from my friends to bring to her. So that was the reason why I ended up in Trinidad around that time in October of 2017. So I stayed with her for about a month. And whilst I was there, they were doing a concert, a Dominica Strong concert to raise funds and to get foods and goods for Dominica to raise funds. So I said, okay, Gina had a friend who was doing a radio program, but it was a live, like a TV show. And they wanted to interview any Dominicans who came to Trinidad as a result of Maria to get their experience.
Right.
So fortunately for me, I was in Trinidad. So Gina called me and said, let's go. I know this person who's doing this interview and she wants to interview any Dominican who is in Trinidad and experienced the hurricane. So that's why I got my first interview with, her name is, oh my God, why am I not remembering her name right now? Her name is Natasha. So I went on the show and we did that. It was very, very emotional for not just me, but all the Dominicans who got the opportunity to give their story.
Right.
And it brought me to a lot of tears. And while I was giving the story, I saw the cast and crew crying and it was just so touching. And then as soon as we were done, she said, you know what? I think I'm going to try to get you to perform with one of the artists as a Dominican representative. I think I was the only Dominican artist in Trinidad at the time, and they wanted to put me on stage somebody to represent Dominica as a result.
Yeah.
So she said she was going to try to get me to perform with Kes. Everyone who Kes the band. Kes is
Right.
a big soca artist, very, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
So, your girl was a little super excited, but I decided not to show my excitement because I figured, she may be just saying that
Yeah.
to really check her out. But then she asked me for my email. She asked me for some other information about me, where to find me, where I live, etc., etc. When am I leaving? I gave her everything. I didn't hear from her for another week. And I was like, I forgot about it. It's whatever. Then I got a phone call. I was putting braids at the time. My best friend's cousin was putting braids in my hair. And I got the call. I was halfway done. And I have a big head, so it's a lot of hair. So the call said, where are you, Miss Peltier? I said, well, I am home braiding my hair. The person said, well, you need to get to Queen's Park ASAP, like right now. So I said, excuse me? She said, yes. Marshall just landed and he's coming for a sound check and a rehearsal and he would like you to rehearse with him. I said, what? And I thought thought she was joking. And she said, no, Miss Peltier, get your butt to Queen's Park as soon as you can.
Wow.
Before 10. Wow. So my hair was almost finished. Or was it finished? Almost. Like I just had maybe the little top. So I just tied it. And it was about an hour drive because I was very far. So my best friend's father and her brother-in-law dropped me to the savannah. And I waited for Marshall for a little while, but I was like, why am I performing with Marshall? Isn't this supposed to be Kes?
Right. So wait, good.
So he came, he called my name. I ran on stage. I rehearsed. I was very nervous. But I had to be professional.
Yeah.
And then he told the band the same story I gave you about me writing the verse for Destra, but I did not know that he knew that I wrote that first because I didn't get any credit for it.
Right.
Okay.
But anyways, he did his research too and found that out and told the band that we're going to do a little piece of that song because we had a whole 20 minutes to perform one of his songs as well as that piece of that song. So I rehearsed with him and then I went to stay by the journalist I had the interview with about Maria. So I went to stay by her for the night into the next morning because the show was the next day. Whilst we just arriving into her parking lot area, I'm seeing Marshall and his team coming to her home. So you don't have to run to my room and call who I had to call and say, hello, all you Marshall in the room over there. What do I do? Do I go outside too? Do I talk to him? What do we talk about the show? I could feel the adrenaline. But then, he asked for me and then he wanted to have a conversation. He said that he was very, very touched by my interview about Hurricane Maria. And he would like to play a piece of it after the editing for the show. And then I'll come onto the stage and we will do a little segment. So I was like, okay, we had tea. And he spoke to me about my whole childhood. Who's my mother? Who's my father? How does Marshall do all of that? Beats me.
So
we had a nice conversation.
So he beat Jules to the thing. He did his homework.
No, I think Jules beat him tonight. So it was a nice simple evening. It was very toned down and then he left. I got up the next morning and then I had to go and look for an outfit. That was my outfit that I wore that particular night was sponsored by Marshall Montano. Nice. He just wanted to make sure that I had everything that I needed because I didn't travel close to perform or anything like that. So he just sponsored what I was wearing. And then the night came and let me tell you drama because some of the artists before his performance, they stayed too long on stage. So he almost could not perform his entire repertoire.
Yeah.
So time to end the show and I haven't come on as yet. But Marshall said, police, please. I know we're supposed to end, but I really, really, really have to do this. And then he played the video on the big screen at the back. And as soon as it was over, he called me on stage. So we only had time to do that little piece of that song.
Hey, that's what happened.
That's what happened. So he said, just come on, let's just do that little piece. I just came on and I just went to the flow because that's not what we practiced. It was supposed to be a song and then that, but I just went to the flow.
Of course.
So, and that's not even how we practiced it either. It just kind of happened how it happened.
Oh, you're a professional
I
at
like
that
how
point.
he mentioned that you wrote that part. That's the only way I knew that you wrote that part, was because he mentioned you
It
wrote
was
this
very
part. It's supposed
scary.
to be someone else, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he have his sources, so he found out and then he just decided, you
Right.
know what, that's a good opportunity to put that out there. So,
Absolutely.
and then the show ended and, he promised a few things. We had a nice conversation and he said, you know what, I'll be in Antigua tomorrow. We want you to perform with us tomorrow in
Right.
Antigua. So they bought me a ticket. I had to leave 2 days before. I had to leave that the day after that to go home. So I just
Mm-hmm.
had to get a new ticket. They changed my ticket. Like, oh, that's crazy. Immediately, I just had to go home, pack my stuff,
Right.
airport. And they
And
called me like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought I could just sleep. And I couldn't sleep. You just get up, let us go, meet us at the airport. Somebody will be there to attend to you.
yeah.
Meet
Wow.
us in Antigua. Boy, it was crazy. And then
Right.
I got to Antigua the night. And then I end up back on stage with him to do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
along with Destra. So she was actually on stage with the two of us. So that was
Nice.
another exciting moment for me.
Nice.
And ooh, that's crazy. It was really, really crazy, but exciting. And I felt so proud to be a Dominican, so proud to have had the opportunity, no matter how small it was, to represent for Dominica. It was fabulous to be
Amazing.
in his presence as well as Destra and some other artists backstage.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing for me and a proud moment to be Dominican. I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Nice. I want to ask this, my favorite song. Well, one of my favorite songs, but actually it might be my top Tasha P favorite song.
Which
Treadmill.
one?
Treadmill.
Oh,
Yo. I
Ooh.
remember, I'll be honest with you, T, when that song came out, there's only two songs I wanted to hear. Enjoy My Life by Soa.
Oh.
Because I mean that's my boy.
Yeah, so it's everybody boy.
No, I don't know about everybody, right? But Soa is my boy. Like, um, but that song Treadmill.
Hmm.
And I watched, well, unfortunately, I wasn't in Dominica, so I watched it on the internet.
Right, right, right.
I was very disappointed in the judges' decisions, but that's just my opinion.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, that song, please, can we talk about that song?
Oh, yes, we
I
can.
thought you were gonna ask her to perform it, to do a
Ah,
little, give us a little something.
if I do that, you'll not be able to see the whole of me on that computer because I'll be all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
A little solo something, something, just to,
Of treadmill?
in the comment section, can we get some fire emojis if we want Tasha to give
Right,
us a little something, something on this Saturday
right.
evening? Because
Some,
it's so warm in Canada right now. We just need something for
It's
the
right?
so
street.
warm in Canada, right? Yeah,
Mm.
wicked. But while we wait for the people to put their fire emojis,
Hmm.
yes, let's talk about treadmill because that is my tune. Um, who wrote that song?
Peter later.
Boy, yeah, damn.
How did that song come about?
Uh,
I guess you have to ask Peter that.
Peter
Go.
he has his moments, like he would just be sitting down somewhere and a concept will come to mind.
Right.
Like the concept for He's a Boy was his concept. He had the concept and then he kind of gave it to a writer to finish off for Ian Jackson. But he has a
Okay.
lot of very, very good concepts. And sometimes as soon as he thinks of it, he puts it down and he goes, Tasha, come and listen to that. So I'll listen. Sometimes I feel what he writes is not there's a specific person you can tell who can sing whatever the songs are based on
Yeah.
what they are.
Right.
So the very beginning, and I start giving the story about treadmill, is inside the comments are crazy coming in.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yes, I see all the fire. They want it
you,
now,
you'll be
Tasha.
Oh,
singing you'll be singing your way
They
out.
really want you to finish talking. They want you to perform it.
perform. Okay.
Well, give
Perform.
us the
Oh
story.
gosh.
Give
Sing,
us
just
the
give us a
story.
little.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You get that job. You want it so badly. Your equipped with education and personality. In the future, you see upward mobility. Dun, dun, early to work and late to leave. Doing what it takes to succeed, but promotion is for backbiters and the party supporters. Whoa, you're disappointed, yet still committed, hoping one day you will get promoted. Here we go, like you on a treadmill, putting all the effort, giving all the time, but you at a standstill. You are moving, whoa, on a treadmill. Your legs are moving, your body's working, but you at a standstill. You are going nowhere. They should tell you early. They don't want you. They don't need you, or they prefer somebody else.
Nice. No, you guys have to put the clapping emoji for Tasha P.
Fire.
Nice.
Thank
So
you.
let's get back into our story.
Yes, so Treadmill was written because Peter came up with the concept about, that song maybe could have had 10 verses. In a lot of different aspects of life, people feel like they're just not moving. Like sometimes you're working in whatever system. Maybe I use the government system, for example. Some young people really have the potential to act and to work in certain positions, but because the older folks don't want to retire or maybe don't want to give up their posts and so on, it's preventing growth or movement in the whole chain of command or in the whole organization.
Right.
So just using that as a random example. So a lot of people are deprived of an opportunity to showcase what they can do because the older folks don't want to let go, or they don't want to carry on or pass on, the baton.
Right.
So that's one example. Or like in Calypso, a lot of people talk about Calypso being I should have written a verse about that, but we just kept it as artists. So it's like a lot of the foreign artists get called in to perform for World Music Festival and so many other shows like Soca Fest and all these other things that we have here in Dominica, and they get paid well, they get the contracts, they get boosted, they get promoted, marketed, etc. And the Dominican artists are just kept on the sidelines, and there's no movement for us,
Right.
or no growth, or no movement. Like we're just not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere. So best they tell you you're not good and you're not going to move anywhere instead of just having you there waiting on a treadmill.
Yep.
So because if you think about a treadmill, you're actually not really moving. Yes,
Yeah.
your body, everything is moving,
Yeah.
but you're
But you're
just
not
at
going anywhere.
one
Yeah.
position for the entire time. So
And
Peter came up with the concept and I was like, I don't know if that song is for me.
right.
And I think if he has to give this story, he'll say Tasha didn't like this song when I get to it. But sometimes whenever you get a song, it's not exactly the end product. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you get a song and you as the artist who is chosen or who chooses the song, you put your own personality into it.
That's
So
true.
Treadmill the melody was very different.
Right.
The lyrics we kind of edited and changed it up. The style of singing it, yeah. Everything I had to put myself, I had to make this song me, make it part of who I am and how I would want to pass that message to people. I
Right.
was very skeptical because it was not the norm of, like, again, as I say, changes a must, and sometimes taking a risk is scary, but I tried. I
Right.
did it nonetheless. I decided, you know what? Okay, let's go with it. I trust my team. And when they pick this song, I don't fight. Sometimes I fight when I feel I really don't want to sing a song.
Right.
But I like getting their perspective because they on the outside can see what my potential might be with a particular song. So
Okay.
Treadmill, I said, okay, let's give this a try. The first time I sang it, I mixed up this song all over the place. I maybe start 3-4 times because I was so nervous at stardom. It was
Right.
crazy. Stardom tent, which is the tent that I sing at. But then the feedback was, I don't know, the feedback wasn't good in the very beginning from people. Very few people had the novelist mindset of how they love the song and they glad I did it and it was good. Some people would tell me, but Tasha P, what is that? That you come in and sing, because I'm usually a lyricist. So I sing songs with meaning and the
Yeah.
deep and a lot of words. And it is, I mean, all my songs have messages and
Mhm.
they're long or they're very detailed. But Treadmill, like He's a Boy and Woman Time and all those other hits, they were not as proper meaning, like I would say, they shouldn't tell you early they don't want you, they don't need you. But I said they should tell you early they don't want you, they don't need you. I
Yeah.
put the Dominican dialect,
Into the
harsh
song.
as it was,
Right.
in there, and that was what was scaring me, because I was like, oh my god, my fans are going and say how I just dropped from my standards. And it was,
Right.
oh, Peter said, Tasha, relax,
But
try the thing, you never know. And then I tried it, and it just kept doing this every
mm,
week. Every week it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the demand for it has not paused even today.
hmm.
So
Well,
it's been, yeah, go ahead.
I'll be honest, like, well, hence novelist, the name, right? Lyrics.
Yes.
So when I heard treadmill is something, first of all, the title treadmill, I was like, treadmill? Why is she singing about a treadmill? So that alone made me want to hear the song, right?
Yeah.
I listened to it and I was like, very nice concept. You're on a treadmill and you're not going. I actually started smiling when I was listening to the song. I was like, yo. Then I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm like, I can relate to this. Like, you know what I mean? As I'm not a Calypsonian, but everybody could relate to this. At work, you working, you don't really want to be at work. You want to be rich. You want to be living your own life. You're not going anywhere. It's the same paycheck that pays the same bill. So,
Every month.
right. So when I heard it, and I'll tell you the first thing that I said after watching the finals, I go, they're not listening to that song. They're not listening to that song because the lyrics in that song, man, that everybody could relate to the song. And that's why I love that song so much. So in my opinion, you won the crown twice.
Ooh,
Let me
that
say.
night was nerve-wracking.
I could
Oh,
imagine.
I
wow.
think they're hearing the rhythm and they're seeing the movement, and they're saying it's not calypso, it's more of a, maybe it's closer to a soca type of
Right.
thing, you know, and like you said, it wasn't something that they were used to.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Sometimes they have to come out of that box
Of
and
Yeah.
course.
move forward.
Of
Sometimes
course.
and that's what sometimes makes the music stay stagnant and doesn't grow, because they just want to stay the same way. They don't want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And I mean, you have people who have one hit wonders, and that one song they're writing for their entire lives.
Yep.
And then, you figure, boy, what else could I possibly write that could actually make a hit? Or like people who want to listen to years after I've sung it. And Treadmill, I think, has broken the barrier right after Children, Let the Children Be Children. That's my biggest song ever.
That's a big
And
tune.
then Woman Time, oh, that has been and still is an anthem today.
Mm-hmm.
And now Treadmill, like, I mean, those songs I think people remember the most and the best. Um, it's really crazy. Anywhere I would go to perform, that song has been requested. So for 2 years, that song has been, whew. I actually just performed it a couple of days ago at a graduation. It was a special request.
Right.
And it is a song to get you off your feet.
Yep.
Yes, you listen and you get the lyrics. You can write a verse about your life alone in Treadmill. It didn't segregate or stereotype. It spoke about everybody, and every single person I am sure in this world has a treadmill experience in their life.
Of course.
So it could be a relationship that's just bad and you just in it and you don't want to get out of it. Where's the growth? Aren't you gonna get married? Aren't you gonna get out of that bad relationship and find something new? Or you so accustomed with this being your norm that you're going to accept it. So Treadmill, I think, spoke numbers and spoke values to a lot of people. And I think it meant a lot to me. That's one of the things I love about having to choose songs or pick songs or sing songs. I believe if I'm going to pick a song, especially in Calypso, because as you know, it's a competition, I want it to be something that has a meaning, it has a value, and I can relate. Most of my songs, if not all, I can relate. And that's it, being able to choose songs, because I always get some insight I always put myself in the song, make it a part of me. And that's what I think one of my strengths. That's one of my strengths. I have to be one with my music. I perform it a lot better. My confidence is different.
Mhm.
the way people see me when I perform is different as well. So I think if you know me very well, or if you're a person who follows Tasha P, you can know when Tasha P doesn't like a song. It's those little details that make you know that people are really watching
Yeah,
you.
yeah, of
So, I
course.
mean, I never thought I'd ever be Tasha P. I always knew Tasha P. Little girl in school being called Tasha P because there were always two Tashas in my class. So there was a Tasha M and a Tasha P.
Okay.
Let me
Ah,
Yes.
ask
nice.
you, despite everything going on right now with the pandemic and so you think North America will see you on tour anytime soon?
Well, I actually just came from Texas about 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I had to go to perform for the Dominica Houston Association.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was a great experience being able to perform in Texas for the very first time and getting to feel um, the audience. I would say the audience because before I went to do the performance, there were special requests from the people who wanted to attend the event. So I did my best to do that. And it was around Christmas time, just before the week before Christmas. So I got
Mhm.
to incorporate some other genres in there too. It was a good experience.
Nice.
Nice.
I was wondering where you were when I saw that escalator.
Oh no, that's I've just been posting a lot of throwbacks. So everything so
Oh,
far has been a throwback unless if that's why I try to put the years and the dates at the bottom when I'm labeling the videos.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, um, I don't know if we have anything from Facebook that you guys may want to ask before we let go, Miss.
Yeah, I
No,
saw a lot of comments coming in, but I couldn't
I
zero
know,
in on them because they were coming in
I
like
know.
crazy.
All people supposed to be checking that. I don't know if they're doing that. So, so I'm asking.
Um,
Uh,
how can we follow you? How can the viewers that have never followed you or don't know how to find you, how can we find you, Tasha P?
Well, I have a Facebook page. I have a personal Facebook page. I also have a Tasha P Facebook page. I also host karaoke with Tasha P. It's been a virtual thing recently, but I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I also have that page, karaoke with Tasha P. If I also have an Instagram page, so you can check out my Instagram. Where else? So many different social media platforms. I'm on TikTok.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I've been trying the new trends because you don't want the world to leave you behind. You have to kind of
right.
just catch up.
Right.
No,
Stay
and then even if
relevant.
I'm not on it every single day because I do work 8 to 4, I try my best to keep adding stuff and try new things and keep doing things to put out there.
Right.
So I'll definitely be looking forward to posting that video for you guys to see. Lord, I
Yeah,
don't even know if I want
I think we want to see that.
myself,
So,
I will
but yeah.
say Toronto and New York are waiting your arrival, but
Well, you never know. Maybe Atasha and Peter can come and give you guys a little show
that
because it's
that
something
would
that we
be
do on the
blessed.
side.
a
As
That
liquor
would be
show.
as band, we've been waiting to travel. I mean, I don't want to say waiting to travel like we're missing or
Yeah,
dying to travel, but we
right.
haven't
understood. Yeah.
traveled in a few years, and I think
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking forward to our next tour and Canada, hopefully Toronto being one of our stops.
Well, DJ
Yeah.
Kaza can open for you, you know.
DJ who?
DJ Kaza, I wear multiple hats, you know. I can open for
Oh,
you.
you're DJ.
All kind of things behind the scenes, you know.
Oh,
Well, as
sorry.
long as I get to meet Jules,
Yeah.
I'm good. Am I gonna meet Jules when I come?
Of course, she's right around the corner, so don't worry.
Right around the corner.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's right around the
Yeah, would
corner.
love to meet you as well. There's a question here. Are you participating in any Calypso competitions this year, virtually?
Well, as you all know, the pandemic has prevented us from doing any kind of large show of any magnitude. There's a protocol for everything in terms of how many people can show up and so on. So we did the virtual Calypso show last year, and I think we're going to try to do it again this year. And
Mhm.
yes, I will be performing. I don't know if I missed it, but
And we're looking forward to that. Definitely.
another, there's another question coming
Yeah.
up right at the
You
bottom.
wrote your first song in 2020.
My first song, there was only, or last year, there was 2020
2020.
as Treadmill and All Hands on Deck. So my first song was Treadmill, Peter later. Yeah, you missed that question, Peter. We spoke about that for a little while.
All right. So
Yes.
last question before we go, or last statement. however you want to take it. The karaoke with Tasha P. How long you
Oh,
been doing? You've been doing that for a while now.
3 years.
3 years, and that's been going nice every.
Ins and outs because in the beginning when the pandemic just started, every Thursday in your own space, in your own place. And
Right,
then Dominica opened up again just before we had that second surge. And I was in different restaurants and bars and parties and weddings, etc., doing it all over the country.
hmm
And then we had to stop again. So it's back being virtually done now. I'm actually from home, but I'm
right,
using a new platform now. So, well, I'm still using my WhatsApp status, but I'm more or less doing something similar to what you guys Google Meet.
right,
And we actually have people performing live in their spaces or sending videos still, and we play it in between a nice little rapport
right,
happening during the every Thursday. But again, there was a little pause for the Christmas season, so hopefully we
right,
can jump right back into that. But we're not sure what's really going on for now. But every Thursday, the Thursday is our signature nights to do
right.
it.
Most definitely. So you guys
Navi, were
definitely.
you dropping a hint for me because you saw my my karaoke video or
You have
Well,
a
was
karaoke video.
well, yeah. I mean, hey,
I
you know what?
cannot sing,
I will leave that
so
with
I
you. And
can't
you and
sing.
Tasha will do with that.
But Jules will talk. Will talk.
So, Tasha, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, man. Like, this is big. I learned a few things before. I thought I knew all, but I learned a few things. So thank you for joining us, and I hope we can do this again in the.
Of course. No
All
problem. Anytime. It's my pleasure getting to see some new faces and getting to be asked a lot of questions. Some people out of Dominica.
Huh?
I just happened to do my research. I'm good at doing research.
I think they do.
Oh, yeah, but it's my pleasure. I don't mind doing these things because it's always good to sometimes know the artist behind the scenes
Of
opposed to just
course.
the person you see on stage. You could relate better and you could learn more about certain parts, of
Facts.
how they are, how they are and who they are.
All right. The only much and Monarch and all that stuff goes. So thank you for joining us. We will see you guys. Well, I gotta say thanks to Jules, and it was the question. How you felt tonight? You good? You
I felt so glad that I got to do this episode, and I'm looking forward to doing this. A great.
yeah, Tasha has great energy. So Kaza, next week we do the same thing again.
Yeah, man. My apologies. I really, folks from Dissect, enamored by the conversation, so forgive me in doing so many things behind the scene. But we really hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, and thanks for the
Yes.
support. Hope you guys subscribe on YouTube. Just on the Island Therapy. That's the channel. Subscribe to Joe's channel. Don't forget to support Tasha P.
hmm
2022.
And
Do it properly.
and next week we keep it Calypso. We bring a former king.
There, we have Hunter on deck.
Yes, sir. So we will see you guys next week, Saturday, right back here, TDN TV, Islands Therapy on YouTube. Follow TDN stuff coming back, and it's coming back soon, right?